In today's Episode 2, Adamo and Rasheed talk about the cost of living crisis. Enjoy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the program, Episode 2. And geez, aren't we excited today? This is all about the cost of living. Welcome, Rasheed.
Thanks, Adam. How's it going?
It's going great. Excited to be here, and there's a lot to talk about.
It's our second episode, isn't it?
First of all, also, we'd like to say thanks for all the new subscribers.
Thanks, everyone. We really appreciate it. And thanks for following us on Facebook. And we have our TikTok account as well.
TikTok,
and please check our short videos for the upcoming episodes. So we'd really appreciate if you could support us in our effort to bring better episodes for you, Adam.
Fantastic. So today we're tackling the topic that's on everyone's minds. The soaring cost of living, relentless surge of inflation. In recent years, we've witnessed a dramatic uptick in prices across essential commodities, leaving many of us grappling with the financial strain. According to the ACCC, petrol prices have surged by a staggering 15.2% over the past 2 years.
Wow.
Since the onset of the pandemic. Meanwhile, data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics paints a similar picture, revealing a concerning 4.3% increase in food prices. Everything is climbing. Insurance is climbing over 9.5%, as reported by the Insurance Council Australia. The burning question is why?
What's the burning question, Adam? The question is, where's the cash?
Well, we're going to tell you
Where is the cash, Nev?
We're going to tell you where the cash is going today. It
Go
all
ahead.
starts with inflation. Now let's talk it now. A little birdie came on the windowsill the other day and told me a few things about you.
Really?
Now,
About me specifically?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, go for it,
So
mate.
apparently you've got a degree in economics.
Thanks for mentioning it. Yes, just to give you guys a bit of a background about myself, I've got a degree in economics and accounting and economics. I've got two majors. Look, Two majors. I majored in both accounting and economics.
So if I ask you the first question, let's get on track about inflation. Let's talk about inflation very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about how that's rising and impacting everyday Australians.
Well, now that you've mentioned it, look, I wasn't going to mention it, but now it makes me the expert, doesn't it? Yeah, that's all right. So now, I was going to talk about interest rate goes up, house prices go up, the commodities go up. It just defies the laws of economics, doesn't it?
Well, initially, with inflation, so money gets printed.
Yeah.
Too much money comes into the economy.
Yeah.
And then you have the lack of supply.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect storm for inflation, right? Inflationary.
You know what? The thing is, I probably kind of know the answer to this question. You know why? Despite the fact that, the interest rates have gone up, but inflation is not under control. I know it will take a while for the interest rates to take effect. But the thing is, if you guys are waiting for the house prices to drop, I think I don't want to be the bearer of the bad news, but I don't think the house prices will drop. You know why? Because it's basic economics. The demand exceeds the supply. Listen to this. All these builders, they're going down. They're collapsing. Every time you open the news, a builder has collapsed. Why? Because the interest rates are up. They can't buy the raw material to build houses, and they've got people's money and they can't build houses. You know what they do? They declare bankruptcy.
They take the money and they probably open up under a different name.
They take the money.
They take the cash.
That's it.
Fuckers.
What do you do, man?
Yeah. It's
everything is out to get you, mate. You can't fucking win, can you?
So what you're basically saying here is, so to curb the inflation, they raise the interest rates to get a hold on people's spending. Okay?
Yeah.
So they get a hold on people's spending. So let's just take it back one notch. Let's talk about income. right? How
Yeah.
much money we're making.
Mate, according to this is kind of my, I think this is true statistics, but according to ATO, Australian Tax Office, the average income is 55 grand.
55.
What can you buy with $55,000? I work in a job that I work with a lot of police officers. I was speaking to one of the police officers. You know what he was saying?
What was he saying?
They've got a union. They're trying to negotiate their EA, which is called Enterprise Agreement, to get a pay rise. They're giving them pay rise 4% over 3 years.
4%.
And imagine that, 4% over 3 years. Commodities have gone up by 35%, 35 to 40%. Over the past 2 to 3 years, the commodities have gone up by 35%. Imagine that. What is 3% going to do? I mean, this
That's
is what
not
I don't
even going to
get.
hit the side. And after tax, that's, by the time you do your super contribution, that's not a lot of money. Now, I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about COVID. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? I'm not going to get conspiratorial. Is that the word? Conspiratorial.
But that's the way we're heading. Now, Rasheed, let's talk about food.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I've got a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old,
Yep.
and they're eating us out of house and home. Now, food's just gone up. I do all the shopping. I have a catering business, so I'm always out shopping, and the prices are just going through the roof. Now, the cost of living crisis, we got, with food prices, so there's a surge in Australia due to supply chain disruptions, extreme weather, affecting crops, increased transportation costs and global market fluctuations. Now, let's talk about food.
Yeah.
Now, the price is going up. Who's benefiting? Let's talk about it.
Mate, it's a chain of events, isn't it? Like, it was triggered by pandemic. Basically, the supply chain was disrupted by pandemic, and nothing was coming into Australia. You couldn't import, you couldn't export. So that kind of triggered the whole thing. Now, everything has gone up. Do you think that with this inflation, they're trying to control the inflation? Do you think that the prices will drop? I don't think so.
No.
It's very hard to bring it down. No matter how much they push the interest rates up, it's not going to. So this is what happened. They pumped money into the economy. The dollar lost.
Printed the money.
Yeah, they print even that, like the government. They pumped money into the economy, and they gave out all these
Stimulus packages.
packages that didn't, The thing is that I know there was a pandemic. We don't deny that there wasn't a virus called COVID-19.
Yes.
There was. But the thing is that they went to so extremes. One day I was in the city. Like I saw police. There was this eerie kind of vibe in atmosphere. Like you could see that, you were in a war zone.
And everyone was looking over their
police,
backs.
They had the police, the what do you call the anti-terrorism squad, everything. They were ready to take people down. I mean, people couldn't even voice their concern. I mean, like, how many people have lost their businesses, and their money, their jobs? The only person who gained from that was you.
I did. Well, a wise man once taught me, said, when everyone's fearful and scared, that's when you need to seize the moment. Julius Caesar.
How did you seize the moment?
And that's when you
Adam?
that's where the opportunity is. So look, unfortunately, but fortunately for myself, made a few good investments.
Made a few good investments, huh?
But let's talk about the normal person out there. Let's talk about the punters. Let's talk about the ones that get up every day, 9 to 5, come home. That have to go shopping, and their $100, $150 food bill just automatically jumps up to $200. And this is the problem, Rasheed. I don't know about you, but do you do the shopping or your missus?
Nah, look, my missus does the shopping. You know what she does? She reckons she used to spend about $200 on shopping for a week. And now I've got 2 children. Now, for $200 for the whole week. Now, she reckons it's between $380 to $400 and something a week. Then the other day I'm like, and she pays for the groceries. You know, we can't, like we've got our own thing. I'll pay for the bills. She pays for the groceries. But anyways, she reckons that
But
she
it's all
spends about
hers.
$400. I'm like, no, you're exaggerating. You're trying to get my sympathy that how you're working hard and you're paying for all this. But you know what? I think she's right. Everything. I've got a lot of issues, mate. One of the issues is gluten and you know what gluten intolerance is.
Tell me.
Anyways, I'm gluten intolerant, so my loaf of bread costs a bit of money. It's like $4 now. It's gone up to $6.50. Now, pre-pandemic, my bread was $4. Now it's gone up to $6.50. And
Because everyone's got a nut allergy, a gluten allergy, a
Mate,
peanut allergy.
don't get gluten allergy. Don't become lactose intolerant because it's gonna cost you a bit of money. Even my tub of yogurt. I can't eat normal yogurt. I have to get lactose free.
It's a big business, a multi-billion-dollar business. All this, changing the brand, the naming, the branding, the gluten.
Yeah, it's not. It's not in my mind. I'm lactose intolerant, mate.
But when we were growing up, we used to eat everything.
Yeah, there was one milk. That milk came from the cows.
I would. Oh, look, I don't know the numbers on this or the stats, but I reckon if they took milk into the lab,
Yeah.
and did all the testing on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would probably. What would come back would probably astound you. It's not even milk.
Listen to this. When I was a kid, I remember living in Afghanistan. When I was a kid, they milked the cow, and they brought the milk, and you could only keep the milk for 3 days. Then you had to throw it out.
Yeah.
Now you can keep the milk on the shelves without any refrigerations, not even for like 2 years. Long life milk.
It's all the preservatives.
Nowadays you've got almond milk, you've got soy milk, you've got oat milk. I mean, are they processed? I don't know. Are we going off
Yeah,
topic?
we are going off topic. Let's just bring it back a little bit.
Yeah. So listen to this. I want to say something. So my missus was saying, listen to this.
Yeah.
My missus was saying that the groceries have gone up. But lucky, you know what happened during this pandemic thing? I told my missus to open a small business. She does eyelashes.
Oh, okay.
And that eyelash business kind of brings in a bit of money to pay for the a bit of cash. I'm like, one day I'm like, honey, listen, you can't beat these prices. You can't wait for these prices to drop. Basically, what you need to do, you need to make more money.
So this is something that you're doing just on the side, just because you got a couple of kids.
So
and
what
you're,
now?
You're trying to think of a couple of ways to face this battle of living crisis.
That's right.
And you just got a little bit of a thing on the side. Hopefully no one from the tax department's
hopefully,
listening. And that's how you're surviving. But the thing is as well, let's get back to the bloke who, and when you go shopping, everything that you buy.
Yeah.
So you would spend $150.
Yeah.
And now that 150 is 200. But the thing is, everything that you buy is actually got smaller.
Got smaller, man. They're shrinking the size
of everything.
They're putting the prices up.
They think we're stupid.
Even my missus last night, my missus goes, I went to buy this cake. I used to buy it for $5.50 or $6.
Yeah.
$6, yes. Yeah. $6. Now she wanted to buy the same cake last night.
Yeah.
It was $9.
Yeah.
Smaller size.
Yeah.
Can you
think
believe
we're
that?
stupid.
Yeah.
They think we're
When I first moved to Australia, listen to this. When I first moved to Australia,
and you had all the cash.
When I had all the cash, when I first moved to Australia, we didn't have family-sized pizzas. We just had small, medium, and large. Now, over time, they came up with this family-sized pizzas. They got rid of the small. Now, the size of pizza has shrunk over time, but the prices have gone up.
Prices have gone up.
And that's what they do. So anyways, let's go back to what I was saying. She goes $400. Now, you know what she was saying? Now, you know that I come from a very conservative background. I'm Muslim, my background. And she was saying, honey, you have to make more money. And I don't mind if you do OnlyFans.
Oh, geez.
she goes, you can do OnlyFans. I'm like, really?
So
I'm
what
like,
would-
don't you think that it's haram?
Haram.
I'm like,
So this is your Mrs.
yeah,
idea
my
of
missus
doing
goes,
something.
you can make money. Like it's not a sin. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not even cheating. You know, as long as you provide for your family, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean?
Well, funny you said that. There's a lot of people who are on OnlyFans that actually just send pictures of their feet, and they can get up to $600-700 of their
Now,
feet.
my question is, Adam, to you.
My
My
feet are
question to
ugly.
you is,
Tell me.
do you think that I can break into this market?
Look, let me have a look at your feet. You got probably the ugliest toe
I
that
mean,
I've ever
I can
seen.
start with my feet.
Yeah, actually, speaking about feet, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but with my kids, and this comes back to the cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when you were growing up,
Yeah.
and your parents bought you a pair of shoes, right?
Yeah.
Now, you would get a pair of shoes, you'd wear
Yes.
them,
Yeah.
and how far would you wear them to? Like, to what point of
Mate,
destruction?
you would just keep wearing them until they just fell apart.
Yeah, so my kids don't understand that. My kids get a hole after 3 weeks.
You know, we has
My
we used to-
missus is on Amazon,
yeah. They keep
my
ordering.
lovely, beautiful wife.
Yeah.
And
Mate,
she,
don't piss her off. I'm telling you right
anyway,
now.
I just want to show you something for those of you listening and watching. I want to show everyone what
Yeah.
what the shoes look like when we were growing up.
What are you doing? What are you cut-
See, I used to say to my kids, you know, "Oh, we didn't get new pair of shoes until the back.
Hey, we stitched them. Remember the cobblers?
Hang
you
on,
know,
hang
we
on.
take them to.
Hang on, until the back was all. See the holes? See, I don't know about you, right? This is when I was growing up.
Why are you cutting this shoe?
Oh, no, because this is how this before we got a new pair of shoes.
Yeah,
This had to happen,
that's exactly right.
right?
But now,
Every 2 weeks.
yeah,
My
They-
kids
they
get
want
a
a
new.
new
I
pair
should
of
open
shoe-
up a shoe shop.
shoes. Yeah, mate. You know, that's the thing. They just keep on wanting more stuff. You know what I mean? Like my son.
It's a
I mean,
generation.
like you know, our kids are blessed. Honestly, you know, as soon as my son mentions a toy, he says, "Oh, I want this, I want that." That's it. You know, like
He gets
I can resist for a bit, then I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna buy it today. I'm gonna buy it tomorrow. I'm gonna buy it today." But eventually, I give in, and he gets his way.
So obviously the cost of living hasn't affected you guys. Are you
No, to
budgeting
some
or are
extent,
you
but
spending
listen-
more that you?
Listen to this. You know, my advice to our viewers and whoever is watching is that if you're waiting for the prices to drop, they're not gonna drop. Whether it's the prices of the house, you know, house prices,
Or food or
whether
petrol
food prices or the petrol.
or the rents.
You know what you do in the meantime, guys? Start a side business, something that
little
you
hustle.
have a little hustle on
a
the
little
side.
podcast.
A little podcast. You know, when you can't afford anything, you know
Yeah.
what you do? You
Sell
do
yourself.
No, you do podcasts.
Yeah. Oh
You
shit.
start something on the side and basically work your way up. You know that this advice is from, you know, I don't want to, you know, Jordan Peterson. You know, he's a professor.
Peterson.
You know, he's on, you know, he's an internet personality. He's a
Okay.
professor. He's a psychiatrist. He says that, you know, I the guy has a lot to say. Maybe you may or may not agree with some of the things that he says, but he goes, if you don't start today, in 5 years' time, you're going to be much older and you haven't done anything for 5 years, and it's gonna get harder for you to work because you're a lot older, you don't have the energy, you don't have the stamina, and you will struggle. So guys, my advice
Start
to you
now.
is start a side business.
Start now. So this
Whether-
is to start the side business to combat the cost of living,
Cost
and,
of
to
living,
survive,
yeah.
and to survive. That's
And to
what-
survive,
to bring
that's
you
right.
back
You
to
know,
point.
but you know the thing is that, you know, the government is saying that, you know, they're gonna control the inflation. I don't think it's gonna look. You know, for average people, it's gonna stay the same. you know what I don't like about all this is that it's the middle class who suffers.
The low income
Yeah.
earners suffer first.
You know,
and cost of
Albanese, our
living.
government, you know, when your government goes rogue, what are you going to do? Albanese, he's walking back on all the promises that he had made.
Oh, it's getting political now.
Tax cuts, nothing. You know what he's trying to do?
Tell me.
He's onto that negative gearing. So
Negative
eventually, you know what's going to happen? You can't claim all the expenses. And apparently it cost the government $2 billion. I think I saw this figure somewhere. $2 billion when people claim these deductions. Now,
Yeah, because as the interest rate goes up
yeah,
on the home loan,
Yeah.
what you're saying here
yeah,
is that people with investment properties, when
Yeah.
you do your tax mid-year,
yeah,
you can actually claim that as a tax offset, not dollar for dollar.
yeah,
So it actually helps people with, but then they get you the other way. They get you with the land tax. I just opened up a land tax the other
Yeah.
day,
yeah.
and the bill's gone up like 300%.
Mate, eventually
Where am I
put-
going to get that money?
Yeah,
I mean, can you lend me some money?
mate. Mate, Adam, you know my payments have gone up. My repayment,
Yeah.
my loan repayment has gone up from $3,000 to $5,000.
Jeez.
And every time I get on the phone with you, we're talking, you tell me about you're going on a holiday. You gotta help your poor mate.
Yeah, I know, Rasheed.
Honestly,
but
I'm struggling here. This guy goes on holidays.
look, I can go big.
Mate,
I'll go dig up a
What
biscuit
happened
tin.
to our friendship, mate?
I'll go dig up a biscuit tin,
Yeah.
and that'll help you out for probably a year,
Oh what?
about a year.
Yeah, you got.
I've got a couple of biscuit tins in my backyard.
Listen, you've got 2 holidays booked or 1 holiday.
Nah, we got one little holiday. We're going away, but
But apparently, this thing, this inflation is not affecting you, is it?
Oh,
I mean, like you must have a secret, mate. Tell us your secret. How you think that you've made some smart?
oh, look, I've made a
investment
couple of little
decisions
smart
in your life, or what?
made a couple of smart investment decisions, but let's get back on point with the people who are doing it a little bit tough, right?
Yeah,
Let's talk
okay.
about rents.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
talk about rents.
me. Basically, he doesn't want to talk about
Let's
rich
talk
people.
about
Yeah,
rents. Now,
yeah,
according to the
Yeah.
CoreLogic's quarterly rental review,
yeah,
it's gone up 7.7% in the last year. Now, rents are going up. They've opened the borders.
yeah,
So there's a lot of people coming from overseas. So when you go for a rental a viewing of a
Yeah.
property, there's
Yeah.
30 people there. Drives the price up. So
Yeah.
7.7 is probably not. It's probably higher than that.
mm.
Now, what can we say to those people out there that are trying to find somewhere to rent? Actually, renting is probably you're better off than owning. What do you think?
yeah. But then again, this having a house has got a sentimental value, because you kind of feel that you've got your own house. However, with renting, you can save more, but you have to have a plan in place. Honestly, sometimes, like even, my missus is pretty bad, but, we just go, I'm like, look, you got to live a little bit too, you know what I mean? It's not that, you should be like, you should basically be tight ass, but you have to have a plan in place. You know what I mean? You have to look at your spendings, your budget, and you just look at you'll have to look at all these things. But I personally think that in terms of whether you should own a house or you should rent a house,
Depends on your situation.
depends on your situation.
your
but-
income coming in, your financial position.
Yeah, personally, I'm a very look. I'm a bit of a spender. Well, my missus doesn't like to think so.
You're a
But-
spender or your missus? Every
Oh,
time.
mate, if I, she wanted, what she wanted to do?
Yeah, tell me.
She wanted to control our finances. She goes, look, how about we put all the money in my account, and I'll give you the money. I'm like,
What are
honey,
her spending habits like? Is she
listen to this.
listen to this?
I'm like, honey, if
Oh,
I did
fuck, I
that,
don't
I would
know.
be on the fucking streets. She keeps spending money, like she keeps spending money. I'm like, honey, you can't do. But sometimes when I talk to her about these spendings, I'm like, honey, before I
Yeah.
came off my fixed
Oh,
interest
yep,
rate,
Yep.
went straight up to bloody doubled my thing. I'm like, honey, you gotta. Do you know that our repayment is going to, it's gonna double?
And she didn't understand.
Now, I was talking to her. Her eyes were drifting away. Oh my God, this is not registering.
Yeah.
Like she actually doesn't understand. She doesn't. It just doesn't.
And that's
register.
not applied on her. There'd be a lot of people. Tonight you're going to be sleeping in the doghouse, mate.
Communication breakdown. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't register.
Yeah. So it's not just you. It's like the listeners and the followers out there who are trying to get an edge and trying to understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's a battlefield and getting on the same page, because what happens is you have to change your lifestyle.
That's right.
And a lot of people, they love their Bali holiday.
Yes.
They love their fucking smashed avocado.
Oh, smashed avocado,
They
mate.
love it, So when you have to kind of compromise, money pressures,
Yeah.
like the recession hasn't really hit yet. Like everything is the perfect storm for a recession.
Yeah.
But the last link in the chain, and I know this from experience in the early 90s, because I was a 13-year-old kid, is when people start losing their jobs and they have to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Now let's hope it doesn't get to that.
Yeah.
Now let's just wrap up this program and talk about a couple of things that people can do to try and survive this cost of living.
Before you say that, I was just looking at my coffee. Give me a coffee.
Mine was $1. Mine was $1.
Look, my job is, I've got a day job apart from this podcast, obviously.
I don't.
Yeah, listen to this. Get a job, mate.
Get a job. This was $1.
$1 coffee. Listen, I used to, I work in a team of, in a crew of 4 people. That's how my job is. We used to go to these coffee shops on our breaks, obviously. I used to shout them coffees. I'm like, from any coffee shop. Now.
Do they shout you?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they do. Or they did, I must say. So now, the cost, a coffee costs on average $5. Can you believe it? Like a medium coffee.
So if you have 3-4...
Mate, 3-4 people, $21. Like, I can't shout anymore. I look for service stations. Get $1 coffee. Like I've got one today. Look, $1 coffee from 7-Eleven. Honestly, this is embarrassing. That... The other day, I was working with one of my colleagues. I used to laugh at people who bought their coffees from 7-Eleven. I'm like, let's go to 7-Eleven. He goes, Rasheed, how come all of a sudden 7-Eleven coffee tastes good? I'm like, it does.
It's actually not that bad. It's not that.
But
look,
I used to think
sorry
that this
to
is
all the connoisseurs out there of coffee.
This coffee, this is embarrassing, mate.
Yeah.
Now I can't shout. I feel embarrassed. But hey, now I look at 2 things. Am I saving my family, or am I buying this guy a coffee? Am I buying nappies for my kids? Well,
you have to start thinking about those little things. So, which ties it into, and wrapping up the program, is how we're going to navigate the cost of living crisis. We consider budgeting, prioritizing essentials, seeking financial assistance. What else can we do to combat this cost of living? Sharing rides.
And then all I want to say is, guys, start a side hustle, a business. Honestly, if you're working, just start something, because you can't. Now the thing is that it depends. Like you can just live on Centrelink payment.
Centrelink is like welfare.
Basically,
for the
it really
Yanks out
depends on you whether you want to have a successful career, or if you want to live a very healthy life, or you're satisfied with what you have. Really.
Yeah, and what you've got incoming, what you've got outgoing, your expectations, and trying to get that balance right.
Yeah.
Work, family, kids. If you've got the single life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, this is happening all around the world. You go around Europe, you go around parts of America. The cost of living is just because they've pumped all the money into the economy. There's less supply.
Yes.
Which means that you get disruptions in supply, China, stuff not coming through.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got this perfect storm that they've got to get that money back.
That's right.
Somehow. So the government sit down at a big table. And they go, all right, who's got the cash? Who's got the cash? So,
And one thing, I want to add something. And you know how we vote as Australian citizen? I'm an Australian citizen, I'm telling you
Oh,
right
you are?
now.
I thought you were straight off the boat.
I vote. Anyways, now, you know, we vote for Labor.
do you vote for Labor?
You voted for Labor. I did. That was a mistake. Anyways, we vote for Labor.
He's getting married now, Albanese.
Yeah, he
she
proposed.
said yes.
He proposed.
Good on
he
him.
proposed.
Cheers.
Listen, you vote for Labor, you vote for Liberal. Either way, you're screwed. They look after themselves. They're not gonna look. They're gonna save themselves. These politicians, they have. It's not that the country is their motherland. These politicians, they will do anything to profit from this.
Maybe they've got all the cash. Look at Dictator Dan, the recent premier for.
Mate, you know what they do?
He'd be getting brown paper bags.
Yeah, they.
How many paper bags do you reckon he got?
I know, man.
Dictator Dan.
Listen, Dictator
His
Dan.
net worth's over 20
But
mil.
don't get me wrong. Daniel Andrews. Now, I like the guy. Well, he was. I like a firm leader, and he was a firm leader.
He
but
had his own
there's no
TV
doubt,
show during the pandemic.
There's no doubt that he drowned the economy. Like he fucked us all up.
Was that
he
before or
fucked us.
after he slipped and hit his head in that?
He fucked us.
When he was at that party in Sereno. Oh shit!
Oh yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, remember
Lindsay,
that? Yeah, he just
Fox's
fell off,
house. Sorry.
fell off the stairs,
Anyway.
didn't he? This is on a different corruption on a different level. Remember that? The $30 million contract on a security contract.
No.
No one came forward to say that. Look, I signed that contract. Bang, $30 million disappeared. Who got it? Daniel Andrews and his mates.
No, we should be politicians.
Mate,
Mate, you know
but
what?
listen, I've got something to say. The bar is so low, but I want to run for the office. Guess what I want to do? 10% tax. Listen to this. You reckon this is a good idea? 10% tax for everyone for the next 100 years. And 100 years, in 100 years
if
time,
you go-
we can evaluate.
What you do is you just change your place of residency. You do what the tennis players do.
Yeah.
You just go. You make your place of residency like Barbados or
No,
Jamaica.
but I don't want to go to Barbados.
No, you don't have
Jamaica.
to. It's like saying you got a house down the coast and that's your primary residence. You get cheaper insurance. You get cheaper this. You get cheaper that.
Yeah.
So look, let's tie it up.
Yeah, I've got more to say.
No. The cost of living.
Let's go. Let's wrap it up.
The cost of living. Well, we've spoken about why it's going up. We've spoken about who's got the cash. We've given tips on how you can survive. There's a couple of stories we've included. We're trying to navigate this world. We're on a path here that we just need to stick together and get through it until the next pandemic.
That's right.
That's going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, Rasheed, for this episode 2. I'm really excited about this podcast.
Yeah, me
Very
too, mate.
insightful, and this has been a pleasure recording today. And was there anything like to say to the?
Mate, we've got a lot to say, but for now, let's wrap it up.
Ciao.
Ciao, Khadafis.